At 4 p.m., I'm Daniel Coletta with your SportsTownChicago.com update powered by Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com. The Bears return to Hallis Hall today for practice a day after trading star defensive end Robert Quinn to the Philadelphia Eagles. Ryan Poles will talk about what this means moving forward for the franchise. The Bulls are 3-2 after winning last night's game against the Indiana Pacers at the United Center. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine combined for 45 of the Bulls' 124 points. All starters reached double figures as they pulled away from the Pacers in the fourth quarter after Indiana cut the lead to as low as 6. The World Series kicks off tomorrow in Houston between the Astros and Phillies, with first pitch being thrown out at 7:03 Central Time. Aaron Nola will take the mound for Philadelphia against Justin Verlander for the Astros. Week 8 kicks off with Thursday Night Football in Tampa Bay at Raymond James Stadium, where the Buccaneers welcome the Baltimore Ravens in a Brady versus Lamar matchup, with many stars on both sides of the ball. Tampa Bay quarterback Tom Brady will speak on Lamar Jackson's unique skill set and how they can turn their season around after a surprising 3-4 start to the season. The Blackhawks are home tonight at the United Center against the Edmonton Oilers as they come to town with puck drop at 7:30 Central. The Hawks have won their last 4 games after a 2-0 start to the season. Hello, everyone. This is Daniel Coletta coming to you live, SportsTownChicago.com here, and this is the very first radio show. I'm here with my co-host, Travis Powers. How are you doing today, Travis?
Dan, I'm doing great. I'm here on this Thursday afternoon at the Be On Air studios, and it's going to be a great show.
Absolutely. We got a great show for you guys this afternoon. Let's just start with the main news that broke yesterday and the blockbuster trade with Robert Quinn being traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. And honestly, I really don't know what to say in this situation. I mean, this is a huge boost for both teams, I would think. I mean, let's start, as it was said yesterday, Adam Schefter traded. He reported that they traded veteran pass rusher Robert Quinn to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 4th-round pick. Quinn, who's been with the Bears since April of 2020, when he signed the 5-year, $70 million deal as a free agent, goes to an already loaded Philadelphia team with a stout defense. The Bears will absorb the bulk of Quinn's salary. Now, let's listen to what Ryan Poles had to say the other day at the press conference when we listened, and we're going to hear what he said about them trading him. Honestly, what do you feel about this, man? I mean, just you tell me initially what was your thought when it all went down. I mean, I was shocked at first, but it was like expected because we all know that Robert Quinn, he had a great year last year for Chicago, 18 and a half sacks. I mean, he break the record here? I mean, that's incredible. But we all know how the Bears performed this year, and it was just, I think it was right for him to go to a contender. You could just speak on that for a little bit. Go ahead.
I would say, yeah, I'm going to miss him. I was there when he broke Richard Dent's 18-sack game against New York at home in Chicago past January. The Eagles coming in at 6-0, taking on the Steelers this week, so that's going to be a big key for them. But obviously that salary for the Bears, that's really going to kill them. And it was the right thing to do. He only had 1 sack this year, only was on like 4 tackles. And if that's what Ryan Poles is trying to build this team up to the level they need to be, that's probably the right idea. Because I would say I haven't liked a lot of Ryan Poles' decisions since he became GM of the Bears. But, you know, him and Matt Eberflus and that entire organization are going to figure out a way how to build around Justin Fields, build that defense, hopefully re-signing Roquan Smith, and hopefully getting a lot more weapons at receiver, especially in my opinion. I believe that's what they need.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, you just said it all there. I mean, I looked this up last night. I was up till like 1:30 in the morning trying to get this information. They have $18.5 million in cap space to go after, so they can very well go out. And they also have $134 million, which under the cap in 2023, that's the most of any team in the NFL, which is incredible. So honestly, when I think about the team overall, I think that this can help them for the future because it's really important to think and look that this team is still young. I love what Eberflus is wanting to do in this direction with the team. But let's just, like I said, we're talking about the Bears and we're talking about what this means for them. I mean, since he was obviously the subject of trade rumors, I think that it was part of the regime that Matt Nagy had. Obviously, the end of that regime, trading away Khalil Mack was the right thing to do because they weren't going anywhere with him. They got a 2022 and 2023 sixth-round pick in that Mack deal. So, I mean, it gives them an opportunity to explore the free agency market, see what they can test, and see what honestly where they can go with this. And it takes them to a place where, honestly, we don't know what the Bears could go out and sign someone, a DJ Moore, for example. Now, I know it's a far-fetched possibility, but we'll see.
Right.
We'll see what happens. I mean, the Bears, rather, they have it all going for them. But let's talk about what it means for the Eagles. And they're just getting another great piece to add to a team that's just already loaded. The best team in the NFC, arguably the best team in the NFL. I mean, if you guys want to put Buffalo up there, you can. But I think right now when we look big picture, Philadelphia is the most well-rounded team that you could put together just because they're undefeated record.
They absolutely are.
Taron Jackson, Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, and now you add Robert Quinn to the mix with a loaded secondary with Darius Slay, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I mean, that it's a young and ready-to-go team. And Philadelphia, they're in win now. Like, they know what they're doing.
They're doing what the Rams did last year. I mean, trading for Von Miller, signing Odell. They're trying to go in full Rams mode. They're at a win now mode, and they got an MVP QB in Jalen Hurts. Is he going to win MVP? That's a little still far-fetched. He's 100% top three. For me, it's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. People are going to put in Lamar. Really, it's not going to help. But they also got Miles Sanders at running back, who's I think is a stud in my opinion. Very underrated. And a big thing, another one, you said exactly the A.J. Brown trade on draft night.
I did.
No one saw that coming. Getting Jordan Davis in that draft was big for them. Overall, they probably had the best day on day one of the draft.
Helped my fantasy team a lot,
too. I mean,
that...
I have Devontae Smith in one of my leagues, or I have him in a good amount of my leagues. He's not performed the greatest, but he's still a good, solid flex player to have at that position.
Absolutely.
And obviously, Howie Roseman is the best GM in all of NFL. He's going to win Executive of the Year. That's not even going to be a question, depending on how bad the Eagles or how the rest of the Eagles season fares. But I would say also you have a head coach of the year candidate, Nick Sirianni, who let Dallas hear it at the end of that game last Sunday night in Philadelphia.
I mean, you hit on it. I mean, we just talked about the fact that Derek Barnett, before I was talking about this thing a couple hours ago, I mean, losing him for the season is a big deal. So the fact that Philadelphia is able to go out and get, with this trade with Chicago, the ability for them to go out and get a player like him is just only going to bolster the defense even more. So, I mean, it's very good for Philadelphia because they want to be in a position, like you said, to win now. It's a must-win situation. This is like a 2018 team potentially. I mean, maybe they go all the way. I mean, love to see a Super Bowl between the Bills and the Eagles. I mean, that'd be
I don't know about that.
That'd be a great Super Bowl, dude.
I mean, obviously the NFC East is the best division in football. Who saw that coming, in my opinion?
I do want to talk about that pretty quickly because, I mean, that division, like we said, who saw that coming? I mean,
nobody
the
did.
Giants.
Brian Dable, I will say this right now,
Coach of the Year.
Will win Coach of the Year.
And I understand the hype around Sirianni, like we just talked about with the Eagles, but what Sirianni's doing is great. Brian Dable has changed the culture for New York. He's let that team be themselves. He's giving Daniel Jones opportunities. And I mean, I know people are saying, don't give Daniel Jones, don't have him give him a big contract because he's not worth it. He has
Who saw how, I would say, I was very surprised. Obviously, made bets with my friends on the Bears-Giants game. Not very smart by me. But the big key for that Giants team was getting Kayvon Thibodeau in the first round and having Evan Neal, thanks to that Bears pick for trading for Fields last year. And obviously, they're not their best player, Saquon Barkley. But the Giants did today trade away receiver Kadarius Toney, which makes the Chiefs more of a juggernaut. I mean, not really. He hasn't done great, but obviously. But you also, the main thing, in my opinion, you can't forget about that Cowboys team. They just got Dak Prescott back, taking on our Bears this week. We'll get in that a little bit later, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good teams in the NFC. The NFC is 100% wide open. The seventh team like in the playoffs right now is 3-3, and all of the teams in the hunt are 3-4, basically.
I mean, you're right. It's Washington. Washington's going to be the Washington team. We know that.
Yeah,
and don't get me wrong.
I want to talk about that Thursday night game.
Hey, I mean, forget about the Thursday night game, but if we think
they beat
bigger
the Packers,
picture, they did beat the Packers, and Taylor Heineke. I mean, he's got all the swag in the world. You want to see that from a guy like him. It's awesome to see what this team in the Commanders has in store for them for the future, hopefully, because they're a young team. But my God, like you said, Philadelphia, the New York Giants, and I mean Dallas. That we're gonna see what happens. I mean, the next couple weeks of the season here, because I mean, crucial games coming up. I mean, Dallas already did lose with Cooper Rush to Philadelphia once. Now, who's to say that Dallas can't take their game in Arlington? But it's going to be incredible to me that if we look at a team like Dallas, they have star power. Micah Parsons might have a field day against the Bears for all.
Yeah.
So
I'm taking the over on his 3.5 sacks.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, Micah Parsons, star. Like, there's no other way for me to put it. He's just a once-in-a-lifetime talent. Love what I'm seeing from this kid. And when I look overall, Dallas is a complete team as well. Secondary, I mean, Trayvon Diggs, Jordan Lewis.
I'm not the biggest Trayvon Diggs fan. I think he's overrated.
I mean, yeah, the interceptions are part of it, but that all comes with football, man. I mean, if you think about it, like it's impressive to get leading your team in interceptions and doing the thing that you love to do and play defensive back and all that. It's great. So, I mean, it's great that we have this, but let's talk about one quick thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the Bears. Going back to the Bears.
Yeah, that's what we should have. Just
hit me with the Bears. That's all you got to do. Just hit me. Tell me what you think.
I'm the most biased Bears fan in the world. I'll admit it. I mean, obviously coming off that big Monday night victory against the Patriots in New England. I mean, let's see. The Bears are the Bears. Like, that's how, like, if Juju Smith-Schuster said about the Browns in 2020, the same old Browns. I'm saying the same old Bears. Justin Fields, he needs protection. That man cannot run this. I mean, he can run 100%, but he needs somebody else around him to save his life. And obviously, you said DJ Moore being a big trade. But I think if they can – so I'm a big Montgomery fan. I really am. I like Khalil Herbert. But I think they are going to trade Montgomery away and try to get a big star receiver. But
absolutely. And I mean, I'm looking over here. I mean, I want to look at the comments that are on like my Insta Live right now. I mean, this is just so you guys know, to all you guys out there who are listening, I forgot to say this when we started the show. Be sure to follow me on Instagram if you're not already, Daniel.Coletta11. Be sure to also Coletta11 as well. And then Twitter's Daniel Coletta. Daniel Coletta. I just wanted to put that out there. You guys can interact with me and you guys have to say, and it's a good thing to interact with people.
You're 100% right. Yeah. You guys can also follow me on Twitter at PowersTravis200, Instagram Travis with an E.P123, and on Snapchat at TravisPowers22.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at, like I said, I'm going back to the comment. Can the Bears make the playoffs this year?
Absolutely not.
No. I mean,
yeah, I said the NFC is wide open, but Green Bay is going to figure out what the heck's wrong with them. You still have that stacked NFC West team, and obviously 2 NFC East teams will probably take 5 and 6. And that 7 spot's going to be up for either probably the Rams or the 49ers or even the Cardinals in that division, because somehow the Seahawks are the 1 seed, which makes no sense. But the Cardinals getting DeAndre Hopkins back was huge for them with that suspension.
Absolutely. I mean, if we looked at the Cardinals' schedule, they had a lot of close games other than the one Seattle game. It was like 19-9. But when I look at Arizona, that Philadelphia game that they just barely squeaked out by 3 points, you have DeAndre Hopkins. You can get better field position in the last minute of that game there, and you are just – they have a chance to tie the game going to overtime. But obviously we knew what happened with that poor kicker, and we saw him after the game and his teammates sticking up for him. That's what guys got to do. But it's awesome, man, when I think about, like, the teams here. But Chicago, even I have no hope on this team. It's unfortunate enough to say that this team is a playoff caliber team. They suck. I'm just going to say it right now. They suck. They're not an NFC contender. They'll never be up there with the Packers, even with as bad as they've played. They're not up there with Tampa. They're not up there with Seattle right now. I mean, Seattle, for 3-3, they're pretty good. They're pretty damn good. And that's all I got to say with that. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with this NFC. And it's interesting to me because I really do think that at the end of the day, it's a matter of just why in God's name do we look at these teams and just automatically assume, like, oh, they're going to be terrible. But we wait to see the matchups. These matchups in the playoffs are nuts. And this is where my perspicacity of the game of football comes into play. Perspicacity, meaning the knowledge of the game. It's supposedly me knowing all that. I mean, come on. The Bears, we know they're not going to make it. That's all I got to say. All right, guys, so we're going to do this right now. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Chicago Bulls and what the Chicago Bulls are doing after last night's win against the Indiana Pacers. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Dude, everything's going good so far. Let's see how we doing here. Bro. All right, so honestly, it's all right. Yeah, dude, this is. I'm gonna have to talk about this one, dude. I mean, one of my buddies is saying, "Are the Bears better than Tampa?" I can't put that in perspective yet. There's no way, because they don't play each other. But it's like, this is gonna be interesting. Oh, dude, I don't even know what to say right now.
How long is the commercial? I'm just wondering.
The commercial, it's about 2.5.
So what's it at right now?
Right now, we got a minute left. So once that thing stops,
I would say, like, once it's like
5 seconds, I'm gonna fade it in to us talking.
Yeah, 30 seconds, like, to be ready.
Okay. So
Bulls try to talk a little bit more about that. And I say maybe at, like, the end we start, like, putting in all the other news.
Can I keep it like that? Yeah, dude. No, I'm set. To you guys on the live right now, thank you so much for tuning in. I mean, it's been a dream of mine and my buddy here, Travis. I mean, it's awesome that we're able to do this. I'm 3.5 weeks into school, and I got my own radio show. Now, the SportsTownChicago.com that I initially linked for you guys is not up and running at the moment, so that's why I'm doing it on my Instagram Live. I'm going to be doing it on Instagram Live from now on, hopefully. But until it comes back, I have legitimately all the time in the world to talk with you guys on here, as well as once we get it up on the air, you can listen right on air here. So we're going to be back into our second topics here. We're going to be talking about the Chicago Bulls, and you guys will just hear it all. So once again, thank you guys so much, and let's get right into it here.
It's good. I love that one.
It's my favorite.
I remember watching it live.
All right, ready? Hello, everyone, and welcome back. And we are going to go right into our second topic here, Travis. Let's talk about the Chicago Bulls last night, man. Faced off against Indiana at the United Center. Ended up pulling away with the victory, 124 to 109. What do we got to say about last night's performance?
Bulls are the best team in the East. That may be biased. That's 100%. But I got something I really want to say. DeMar. Please passing the ball. You did not play great last night. I wore your jersey, and I know that for a fact. You're not going to listen to this, but I really don't care. You had 15 points, 5 fouls, actually. That's what really ticked me off. But ever since Levine came back on Saturday, he's just not played the DeMar that he did the first 2 games, averaging 34 points.
Are we talking about DeMar?
DeMar DeRozan. He hasn't played great, and I don't.
It's a team game, and I understand.
I mean, I get it. It's a team game. But
hear me out here.
You're the best player on the team.
It's a team game. Now, last night I looked this up. They combined for 45 of the teams, 124 points. All starters were in double figures. Now, first of all, that's great for a team that you expect to be a contender in the Eastern Conference because our bench production is going to be great. I just saw the comment that was on my Instagram Live. Io, what more do I have to say about this kid? Morgan Park, he's a great player. He can run through with this offense. But Lonzo Ball, that's what I want to get to here. I mean, we're going to be without Lonzo Ball for probably majority of this first half of the season. Maybe, I want to say more than half the season.
Both Ball brothers are out.
That's what I'm saying. LaMelo, rest up. Get better, my brother. You as well, Lonzo. It's injuries, they're terrible. And
yes, they are.
There's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately. It's just it tends to happen. So, I mean, when I think about Lonzo's absence, it's terrible because what this team could be with him in the lineup. We saw how good he was and what he did with his team. Stacey King, one of the greatest announcers I've ever heard, call Bulls basketball, also a player. He said it when he was like, Lonzo is one of the fundamental impact guys of this team, and he really changed the aspect of it for this team. And he helped them give him an identity, and I'm not saying that we can't do that with Zach and DeMar, but we have to have consistency from our guys. Patrick Williams, Io, who's filling a big role as a second-year kid now. We've also got Caruso. I absolutely love Alex Caruso. Anybody there? It's just unbelievable. Like, I don't even know what to say right now. But it's crazy to think that we could still – I mean, what are we, 3-2 right now?
We are 100% 3-2.
We're 3-2, and – obviously, last night, after scoring 76 in the first half to the Pacers 57, that was basically the deal breaker for this game, I would say. But Chicago, Io filling the void for Lonzo is going to have to be big for us this year. And I think when we look back and say, hey, like, what's going to be the main reason why the Bulls are succeeding? It's good play from our entire team. We have guys who know their role. We have guys who play consistently. Patrick Williams, Caruso, Io, Drummond, and Dragic after last night.
Speaking of Drummond, he had a very big dunk that we actually got a clip of. That was pretty good.
We had a clip of it. I didn't put it into here. I was just too busy sitting back and looking at it. I mean, technically, if you want me to, I could pull up the audio right here. Let's just listen to the audio because it's something else. I mean, on your head. You heard Stacey King, and when I'm watching that game last night, I know, like we talked about, Indiana's a rebuilding team, and they're young. Benedict Mathurin, very good player. You've also got your guy,
Tyrese Halliburton.
That's your guy. I made you say
obviously, that. Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield killed us last
Buddy Hield's
night.
A three-point threat.
He had 4 straight threes, I believe they said. Adam Amin and Stacey King on NBC Sports Chicago.
He was the reason why they were getting back into it.
And he's obviously a trade candidate for the Lakers, which we will get into a little bit later. Buddy Hield, they've been saying he's a trade rumor for that. Disgusting.
Honestly, let's pull it up on the map right now because I really wouldn't have known that until now. I mean, it's terrible. And if you think about Buddy Hield, he could be on any contender and he'll do well. Now he was in Sacramento the last couple of years. He's in Indiana.
He won a 3-point contest.
He won a 3-point contest championship. The kid can ball. It's a matter of can we see him on a contending team?
Yeah, if
fill
you're
his role.
Indiana, they're not going to be there yet. Like Tyrese Halliburton getting that trade for the Kings with DeMontis Sabonis. For the Pacers, they're not going to contend this year. You ain't going to be – that Central Division that the Bulls are in are going to be too good. But you got the Cavs who destroyed the Bulls on Saturday night. And
that was without Darius Garland.
And that was Levine's return game, actually. And then, obviously, you got the best player in basketball in Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks, who are still undefeated. So we'll see how long that lasts.
It's crazy to me, man. I mean, this Bulls team, we'll see what happens with them. Like I said, this division, it's going to be crazy, and we'll see how it goes. But like you said, Cleveland and Detroit, Indiana, Chicago, Milwaukee, obviously the Bucks. Got to give credit to where credit's due to all you Buck fans out there and all you guys up in Wisconsin who I grew up with the last 16 years of my life. I mean, I can understand. They're champions and they have a great team around them, arguably what they did last night against Brooklyn. I mean, I have that right here. I mean, last night, that 110-99 win, Giannis with 43 and 14. Monster game from him. Bobby Portis picking up 12 and 11 or 20 and 11 rebounds, excuse me. And then Drew Holiday providing 15. The team has it all around. And Kevin Durant scored 33 last night for Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving with 21. Love Kyrie. I really think Kyrie Irving here, real shot for MVP candidacy. I mean, if he could stay.
MVP?
Team
is not that
listen to me right now. Stephen A. and a couple of the guys who I've listened to, Greenberg, all of them have put it best when they said this. Kyrie Irving, if he plays a full season or close to it, has a chance of winning MVP because guys walk in turnstiles. They're going through you name it. If I got a ticket in front of me right now to go see Brooklyn, I would go see Brooklyn just because of Kyrie Irving. You go see Kevin Durant.
The Nets do play the Bulls on TNT with those great guys on Tuesday in Brooklyn. So.
Don't get me wrong. I think Brooklyn can win that game. Or Chicago will win that game. I don't even want to put a bet on that. I'm not a betting man. I don't care for that stuff. If you need to bet, so be it. I'll bet at a time when I need to actually bet.
I'll just bet if the Bulls are favored. I don't bet against them. But obviously, the Nets need to be a good team. But obviously, you got to control Benjamin Simmons.
Simmons. First time I ever heard you say it on the front like that. I was like, wow. But let's be real here. Give me your top 5 Eastern Conference teams.
Top 5.
Because I'm going to just go into it right now. I mean, last night, if we look at before you give me your top 5, Toronto took care of Philadelphia last night, 119-109 up at Scotiabank in Toronto. Very good game. Tyrese Maxey led all scorers with 31 for Philadelphia, but Gary Trent provided the spark for them, going 27 points, 5 of 10 from three-point land. Siakam, another very young superstar, he's still Toronto's main guy. Scored 20 as they take care of the slumping Sixers. I mean, the Sixers have to get together. James Harden, man, Embiid, come on. How are you 1-4 to start the season? And they were supposed to be one of the top teams to come out of the East. But talk about another one, Cleveland. You mentioned them a little bit earlier. Beat the Magic. I know the Magic are 0-5. They got their rookie Banchero. I actually got to give a shout-out to my buddy Dylan Malkowski. And let's see here. Dylan, I know you're a big Duke fan, man. Paulo, I know he's going into a rebuilding situation. Orlando, Suggs, Banchero. I want to see more consistency out of these guys. I need to see them win at least a game or two. Let's see. We got the Bucks, Nets, Celtics in that order. I mean, that's pretty good. You think that's fair?
I don't know about
give me your top 5 real quick. Give me your top 5, and then I'll go off with one of my buddies.
Bucks at 1. Cleveland, surprisingly, no, I can't. Cleveland can't be 2. That's physically impossible.
You think so?
Because top 3 teams have to be division winners.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So I honestly don't even know which division. I'm going to say the Nets beat past the Celtics this year, and then whoever's in that other division,
I got to go into. Let me be real with you when I say this. I think that you're great. Those are great picks. Now, they started against I initially thought the Heat were going to be the team to watch for because Eastern Conference Finals last year. They made it to Game 7 before Jimmy Butler decided to pull up for that three, clanked off the rim. And little did we know that they'd ended up going to the NBA Finals. But I think Miami can still be in the conversation if they can win out for a little bit. Jimmy Butler's still their number one leader. You've got your sixth man, Wisconsin alum, by the way, even though I'm not a Wisconsin guy. I'm a Chicago guy. I got to give T-Hero all the respect in the world. Got his jerseys, everything. I love that kid. Went to Whitnall High School about 15 minutes from my house up in Wisconsin where I was living. Kid's a baller. And the fact that he got taken 12th by the Miami Heat, wins Sixth Man of the Year, that's all you need to know.
Just got paid as well.
He just got paid. I mean,
he also, as a kid, he was on the Jake Paul podcast.
He's living life. He's in Miami of all day.
By the way,
great city.
He had the best post-game outfit, which Charles Barkley last season mimicked as a bet he had with Shaq.
I'm going to give a shout-out real quick to my mom. Mom, we got to go back to Miami. I mean, that's a great city. She's a little older, but party city. There's basically all you can say with that. And it's just unfortunate that I haven't been to Miami in probably 7-8 months. Even though I travel a lot. It's not trying to brag, but it's a great city, man. And
I haven't been to Florida since I was 5 years old. So.
I mean, I can't even. I don't know. It's crazy, man. It's a great city though. If you ever get the chance to visit, I tell you what, pay for your plane ticket. You go down there. It's a great city. I don't know, but that's basically what you hit on your teams.
By hitting my teams. Maybe looking to a team I think we haven't really got to talk about a lot. Kind of wrapping it up a little bit, though. Going to talk about those Lakers fall to 0-4 on the season after
I got to make this
last
one.
night.
Let's make this one quick.
To the Nuggets, 199 to 99, I believe. Nikola Jokic, the reigning two-time MVP, led all scorers last night with 31, while Anthony Davis provided 22. But also since LeBron's rookie season, he has not started 0-4. So, obviously, it's his year. It's LeBron versus Father Time, as we've seen as the Nike commercials. He's chasing Kareem's record, and also Russell Westbrook didn't play, which that clearly didn't matter either.
Listen to me right now when I tell you this. The Lakers, wow, did we think about it? I'm going to make this quick because we're at the 30-minute mark. We got a bottom hour update coming up. Commercial break as well. The Lakers are 0-4. Last night they did not have Russell Westbrook going into Denver. Jokic and those boys decided to show them how to play the game of basketball. Anthony Davis, another guy I got to talk about real quick. What are you doing, man? You're supposed to be the man. You've been injury prone the last couple seasons after winning the bubble year in Orlando 2020. It's like he's afraid to drive to the hoop. You're a big man. You have guys who double team you inside because you know it's going to be there. So he's trying to take his outside shot. Doesn't always work for you that way. You got to find a way to win your matchups. But my God, are the Lakers 0-4? LeBron, chance to catch Kareem this year on the all-time scoring list. That could put him seriously. People are saying in the GOAT conversation. Now, obviously, it's not true. I mean, Michael, you're still going to give him the edge with the championships and his ability to just be that dude because he is him. Not saying LeBron is not him, but
ladies and gentlemen, I am shaking my head if LeBron gets put at number one because it's never going to happen. Here in Chicago, it is Michael Jordan all day. We have a big, cool Michael Jordan poster right behind our host today. Michael Air Jordan. That's amazing. So,
I mean,
nobody passes Michael Jordan.
I would grab it. I'm talking into the mic right now, but this is probably the coolest single poster or basic something you hang on the wall. You got all sorts of Chicago stuff in here. Right behind the camera here, we got Walter Payton's signed jersey. Over here, you got the Wrigley Field sign. Mike Ditka, what you know about it? Tell me what you know about it. That's all I got to say, man.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool ones. Obviously, above your head and behind you, you got the Devin Hester kick return touchdown one. And
Blackhawks champions.
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
it's
great
the Walter
being here,
Payton.
dude.
Obviously,
I love it.
The best bear.
Blessed to call this my studio. That's all we got to say.
Yep.
Let's do this now, you guys. We're going to transition into our commercial break, bottom hour update. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about the NFL season and so far what we think and for tonight's game in Tampa and Baltimore. At the bottom hour update here on the Dan and Travis Sports Show, we've got breaking news. Kadarius Toney traded from the Giants to the Chiefs, and that was something I did not see coming. And we also have another major move here as wide receiver Jamar Chase out 4 to 6 weeks with a hip injury. Bill Belichick saying that quarterback Mac Jones will be available versus the Jets this weekend. Bill Belichick saying he will play full-time. And another major thing, we've got Kanye West. The academy shuts down, according to the principal. So lots to go into here. And, I mean, interesting, man. Kanye West, great guy, but it's just crazy what we've seen him do. I'm going to be honest with you, that came up so early. I didn't even know it was coming up. Let me see how much we got remaining on this.
Do you have the audio clip for...
Hold up. What's up?
The audio clip for Tom Brady up and whatever.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to load in with that.
And then last is going to be the World Series, which is... Were we going to have time for it?
Hold on, wait. We got a minute 40 left, so let me load in Brady's press conference. Segment 4 is going to be World Series. Just so you know. All right, let me check this out. What's going on, guys? To the guys who actually stayed or were here. Unbelievable right now. I mean, wow. You know, I can't express that was Tom Brady yesterday talking about their upcoming matchup with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. What do we think about this matchup, my friend? I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what goes down tonight in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. He's the greatest football player of all time. I don't know if he's my greatest athlete in all time, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. I would say I have the Ravens winning tonight because I think Tom Brady's done. He should have retired when he did originally. I believe that family always comes first, but obviously for him that didn't matter, which that's none of our business. But Tom Brady and the Bucs sitting at 3-4 currently here playing at home tonight. Mike Evans, they had a big drama this week actually with the whole did the ref ask Mike Evans for a signature, which
I don't get that, man. I get it. The league's got all these rules. You can't wear things with chains, jewelry, and all this. The ref wants an autograph. You give the man an autograph. Let him get it.
We don't know what the whole story was. I believe he did want an autograph, even though Mike Evans had a horrible game against the Panthers, losing 21-3 in Carolina.
He dropped the wide open touchdown.
Yes, he did. I was like,
what are you doing, man?
Luckily, I don't have him in fantasy.
Oh, dude, it's terrible. But no, like, I'll expand on your thought real quick here. I mean, Tampa Bay's 3-4, 1-2 at home. And I think right now that Brady on the season, he's got 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's got 1,942 yards, a 198, a 296 completion. And the ability for guys to stay healthy on Tampa Bay has been crucial, key elements as to why they have lost some of these games. I mean, if we looked at that game against Green Bay in Tampa a couple weeks ago, they had no receivers on their roster. Who was Brady's number 1 receiver that week? Russell Gage. Not saying Russell Gage is a nobody. They didn't have Julio, who's been injury prone since week 1.
And most of his
Mike
career.
Evans didn't play. Yep. Mike Evans didn't play that game because he had to serve his 1-game suspension from the brawl in New Orleans with Marshawn Lattimore. Godwin, that hamstring. I mean, every year he's got that same hamstring injury, and it just keeps bothering him. I don't know why, but, I mean, the dude takes care of himself. He's an athlete, but unfortunately it keeps
They got Leonard Fournette at running back.
Fournette, I think he's a stud, and, I mean, I don't understand why. Fournette on the season, he's 103 carries, 362 yards, and a touchdown. Get him more involved.
Mm-hmm.
Give him the ball on the goal line. Now, I know there's plays you can get stuffed, but, I mean, with him, a matter of just doing his job, which is run the dang football.
Yes, that's what he's supposed to do. Like, coming over from the Jags, which he was on that AFC Championship team who actually lost to Tom Brady back in 2017.
Yep.
Coming out of LSU, I thought he was going to be a stud. He still is a stud, but he did put on a good amount of pounds this offseason.
He's big.
He's very big.
But don't get me wrong, even with him being huge, he's a guy who's still capable of running that pretty well.
But you got to take also a look at that defense. I mean, you got Devin White, who's a star linebacker. You got Levante David, who's a top 5 linebacker in the league. And then, I mean, you got Sean Murphy Bunting, who's a big-time player.
Their defense, man, that's what I want to talk about. Thank you for bringing that up. I mean, what in God's name are we talking about here? I know that they lost. I mean, they didn't want to bring back Ndamukong Suh, Jason Pierre-Paul. Their defense is supposed to be an elite defense. They have not been the elite defense.
No, they have
21 points to Carolina. Now, no offense to Carolina, but they just traded their star running back, Christian McCaffrey, to San Francisco. They're in huge rebuild mode. P.J. Walker, like you just said. You let P.J. Walker, not even Baker Mayfield,
a former XFL quarterback, and the team who just
P.J. Walker, everybody.
The team that just fired their head coach.
I want to advertise to everyone out there right now that I'm not one to normally call a player out, but let me tell you something right now when I say that the Carolina Panthers are in rebuild mode. They are the worst team in the NFL. Mayfield's the QB too. It's like the situation going on in Indianapolis right now with Matt Ryan after just being benched for their guy Sam Ehlinger, Texas quarterback. I mean, P.J. Walker, you let him drop 21 points on you. This Tampa Bay defense has got to be consistent. I know they're still without Akeem Hicks, who they picked up from Chicago. Don't get me wrong. They're supposed to be the guy in there manning the front, but they still got Vita Vea. They got a good front 7. What are we doing? Shaq Barrett, Levante David, Devin White. I mean, Tampa Bay, get it together.
Yeah, enough about Tampa Bay. Let's talk about that Ravens team in a kind of weird AFC North division, I would say. Lamar was an MVP candidate. He's definitely on the decline, in my opinion. Gus Edwards, I don't believe I thought I read a tweet from Adam Schefter a little bit earlier today that said Gus Edwards won't be playing in this game tonight at home in Tampa, but
you're absolutely correct. I mean, look at guys for Baltimore. Baltimore's a deep team, and they're playing in a great AFC team. AFC East?
AFC North.
AFC North. I keep thinking differently. Why? You got to correct me on the things. But, no, man, you're absolutely right. Baltimore, they have a shot now with them being 3-3 or 4-3. They are first in the AFC North. Huge blow after hearing about Jamar Chase, who, breaking news a couple minutes ago, I think I put it in the where did I put it? I put it in the commercial break, I think, when I was talking in the update for about an hour.
Yeah, you're talking in the update.
Yeah, he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks with his injury. I think, what was it? I think it was a hip injury. So that's crucial for Cincinnati. And Cincinnati, I thought, was going to be the guys to come out. I mean, Cleveland, we'll see what happens when they get Deshaun Watson. Listen, we saw the rust on him in preseason, so I'm not going to believe him by the time
they
he comes
don't even
back.
start. He doesn't even get to start till week 13.
That's week 13?
Against his former team, Houston Texans.
Correct. So my point being is I think that Cleveland's out of it for now. Their running back play from Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb is going to be key for them to stay in it. Their defense has also got to play well. Mari Cooper, another guy, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Like that team, they need to execute to perfection if they want to stay in that race because obviously they have not. And they've had some pretty heartbreaking losses. But Baltimore, I mean, just looking at what they have ahead of them here. Tampa Bay tonight, 7:15, Amazon Prime, Thursday Night Football. Then they've got New Orleans. They've got Carolina, at Jacksonville, versus Denver, at Pittsburgh, and then at Cleveland. So, I mean, that coming up, that schedule for them, it's going to be crucial. And for as stout as I think Baltimore should be, they're not. They have receivers Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay. I mean, you got to give benefit of the doubt. J.K. Dobbins, you just talked about not having him, but Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, those are key running backs they need. But their defense, too. I mean, think about the Ravens went out and got JPP. The Ravens have a great core in the back. Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey. Their rookie, Kyle Hamilton, who
Notre
Dame, baby. I mean, come on. What more do we have to say about that? But he's been great, man. And I love seeing Baltimore. I mean, I've watched a couple of their games this year, and they have a shot. And as long as they can contain themselves and be who they are and not give up these games. That Dolphins game earlier this year was inexcusable. 35-17 going into the fourth quarter. Just, it's terrible, man. But we'll see what happens tonight. This good game coming on, and Tampa Bay right now.
I have the Ravens winning this game tonight.
Okay. I mean, I'm glad you have your opinion on that. That's excellent because Tampa Bay is the money line moved. It's not -1, it's -2 Tampa Bay right now. I don't really care who wins this game tonight. I just want to see a good game on Thursday Night Football, please, because we haven't had a good one in a while.
I mean, last week was okay with Arizona and the Saints.
Yeah,
it was a good high-scoring game.
Well, I'm saying the week before, no.
Washington. We ain't going to talk about it.
Right. We don't need to talk about it. So, I mean, what more can I say here? But right now, we got another thing to talk about coming back. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the World Series and baseball and everything that has to do with what's coming on. So, going into the break, we're going to talk about who has the edge tonight in Houston, or tomorrow night in Houston. Phillies, Astros, all that coming up. SportsDownChicago.com. with you. And let me explain this in the best way I can. Houston's a great team. I think that they should honestly be the favorite in the series, which I believe they are anyway. But where did we see this coming with the Philadelphia Phillies? You need to explain to me where we saw this coming with the Phillies. Because when we started the year, I did not think Philadelphia would make it all the way to the World Series. Now, there was a tweet that went out the other day, and I was reading it. Guy predicted the last couple World Series. 2020 predicted the Dodgers back in 2019. He had made this tweet. In 2019, I don't even remember the guy's name. If I pulled him up on Twitter, which my phone's over on the other side of the room here, but if we think about this tweet in 2019, if I pulled it up, he picked the Dodgers to win in 2020. They did it. He picked the Braves to win in 2021. He did that. Now we talk about this Philadelphia Phillies team. Personally, I didn't think they'd make it past St. Louis. The fact that they swept St. Louis, first of all,
I think it should
game
be.
one disappointment.
Yeah.
But Philadelphia has just proven everybody wrong with this performance. I mean, look what they did to Atlanta. Look what they did to St. Louis, man. I mean, come on. And tonight's going to be a great game. I mean, Aaron Nola, very, very good pitcher when healthy. Verlander, enough said. Man's 39 years old, going to be 40 years old pitching in the World Series. Guy's a stud. Champion, arguably one of the best pitchers I've ever seen. But don't get me wrong. I don't know, man. It's crazy. It surprises me because the Phillies lineup, they have a deep lineup. And that's what brought them to the World Series, is just this lineup, their ability to win in clutch. Kyle Schwarber this postseason has been unbelievable. Our Chicago guy, by the way, I'm throwing this out there real quick because I'm seeing the comments. If you actually think that Wisconsin in the sports world is a great sports world, they are, but they aren't. Sticking to Chicago, we're not going back to Wisconsin. It's poverty. That's all I'm going to say. I just wanted to put that out there. Now, let's talk about what we were just talking about here. Our guy, Chicago guy, and Schwarber just lighting it up in the postseason so far. I mean, look what he did against San Diego. And wow. Just wow. It's incredible what we're seeing from this team. I mean, Bryce Harper's caught fire. Rhys Hoskins, one of the coolest bat flips I've ever seen when he hit his bomb.
Wilson Contreras was better last year. Just want to put that out there.
Wilson Contreras. Come on. We're talking meaningful postseason baseball here.
I mean, I just was trying to play.
Cubs haven't made the postseason. I can admit that, being the Cubs fan that I am. Now, I understand being a Cubs. Well, I'll get to that in a different part of the show here, but I don't know, man. It's tough. I think this series should go either way. I think if Philadelphia can win a game in Houston, Philadelphia's got a chance to win this game. 6 games. They win the series in 6. Now, if I were to be right now, just because it's my personal pick, I would take the Phillies in 6. That's just me, though.
That's 100% what I just said.
Dude, I am a firm believer that Philadelphia, with their star power, can come out tomorrow and show these Houston fans. Bryce Harper is him. He's him. That's all I can say to him. And it's funny to me because I think that Philadelphia right now, I mean, look at Kyle Schwarber right now, I think he's batting only 218. 218 he's batting. That doesn't matter right now because of how hot of a hitter he's been.
Yeah.
But Jordan Alvarez is going to be a problem for Houston. I love this kid. I mean, he's a star.
Jeremy Pena
just won ALCS MVP, right? Yeah. I mean, he's incredible too. Like the fact that they swept the Yankees really turned something different for me. But that's just, it's crazy to me. I mean, what do we think the vision that I have is Philadelphia can come out, and just if they can get out to a good lead, you can't blow it if you're Philadelphia here because you got Aaron Nola on the mound tonight. You've got your lineup. And right now, I mean, let's just take a look here. I mean, if we're looking at did they even announce the lineup cards yet? I don't even know.
I don't believe they did.
I was going to say, I don't think the lineup cards are out yet, but I was going to say, if their lineup's out and they got legitimate chances here, this is something that we can see this team do. And honestly, guys, don't be surprised if Philadelphia takes the series in 6 because these Phillies are a force to be reckoned with.
Philadelphia rules the world right now.
Man, dude, Philadelphia is on top of it. They're gonna go crazy. That city, Philadelphia, great city. If you ever get the chance, go out east, get to Philadelphia. Great city, lots to see. A great city, man, and they're sports fans. May not be the greatest people in all sports. We've seen that with Eagle fans. We've seen that with Flyers, Sixer, and Philly fans. But now, what did I say? Yeah, Philadelphia Philly fans. But this team, they're hot, and they can bring this. As long as they're beating Houston, personally, I'm all good with it. That's all I need for my life to be enjoyable right now. I mean, we're living.
Yep.
It's basically that's all we need to see. But let me add on something real quick, though. I want to just go into this quick topic because we got 4 minutes left here. It's been our first show.
Yep.
People like to talk about comparing us, or not even us, just like when we're in Chicago. Got to pick a team. Cubs or Sox. Now, I'm going to hand this off to you because I want to hear your thoughts first before I give my personal take because I think it's selfish. And there's a lot of my friends out there who I don't want to call out in this moment because I am currently live on the air and I don't want to get reprimanded by my instructor or my boss or whoever. And give me your thoughts first, and then I'm going to politely tell all my friends about what it means to be a Chicago fan because they clearly don't understand.
Go Cubs, go! I'm a diehard Cubs fan to the day I die. I said it earlier. Since 2004, go Cubs, go! Bill Murray and obviously that entire team. 2016 is the best year in sports, like I said. 2016 coming back 3-1. I did have a little bit of doubt in that series. I really did. I'll admit it. But obviously you had the MVP, Chris Bryant, who last year this team took my heart away. I had to go into work one day, the day of the trade deadline, and they're trading Rizzo, Baez, Kimbrel, Bryant. It's going to be rough. But, yeah, I would say I don't hate the Sox. I obviously don't love them either, but let's get a rep. That's just all I gotta say about this subject.
All right, yeah, no, my live literally just cut out on for the Instagram, but I'm gonna just explain it out here. So, being from Chicago initially, I'm a Naperville guy. I watched the Cubs and the Sox, but let me be real when I say something here. I think that it's me watching both of them. It's been hard. Because I grew up a Cubs fan, and I also grew up a Sox fan. I used to go to games on the south side. I'd go to games at Wrigley Field. It's awesome. Now I would say more I go to the Sox games because of, like, affordable ticket prices, and it's just as fun as Wrigley Field. So I would probably say that first. But I want to let everybody know that it's nuts. Like, I really think the Cubs and the Sox are both my teams. I can't pick a team. It's tough, man, and it's just hard because when I look at this team in the Cubs, they're young. They have a lot of guys around them. Jed Hoyer's making the right moves. But Jerry Reinsdorf, man, get it together. This team was supposed to be the 3rd best team in baseball this year, and they have not been. And they missed the postseason again. So we'll see what happens. But that's what I like talking about with my friends and saying, hey, the Chicago teams, I like them both. I'm a Chicago guy for life, and that's what it's always going to come down here to. So that honestly is going to wrap it up with our segment, you guys. I want to thank each and every one of you guys who tuned in on the live stream because without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. Without my instructors, I wouldn't be in this position right now. So a lot to talk about, but it's incredible to be on the air and speak about this. And it's great knowing that I have the opportunity to voice myself. Travis, you as well, man. I mean, put yourself out on these airwaves. It's incredible. So, honestly, this has been your SportsTownChicago.com update brought to you by the Illinois Media School. If you're interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com. That's all for now, guys. We're peacing out here from the studio, and we will see you all next time.